Hello YouTube, sorry it's been a while. Been up to some things. Obviously the title of the video you can probably tell, but today I made a leap and I went to my first church service, which I'm quite happy with. It was a nice experience. I've been meaning to do it for a few years, if I'm quite honest, since I started to believe in God. I thought that maybe I should start going to church to become close to God even more and upgrade my understanding of religion, etc. It was a good experience, to be honest. Feel good about it. No complaints. And obviously, some of this is in light of the recent events with Charlie Kirk getting shot. It seems a lot of people started going to church. I mean, in this year in the United Kingdom, anyway, it's apparently church attendance has grown by 50%, which is quite phenomenal. And now I'm part of that as well, I suppose. And that was prior to what has occurred with Charlie Kirk. So I was watching Sargon of Akkad, and he said that his wife had gone to church on Sunday. I don't think he went, but his wife reported to him that their church attendance had more or less doubled. It was around 40 people there usually, up to 80 today. Sunday. And yeah, a lot of these people were apparently in their 20s as well. So a lot of Gen Z. So unfortunately, communists, you have messed up. You have lost the culture war now. You might not realize it, but it is over. We have won, the non-woke people. Because as I've said in other videos, I'm not actually right wing. I am a centre-left person. But I do not agree with the woke dogma of saying that men can become women, open borders, equity instead of equality, and all this nonsense that they've been trying to push on us for quite a few years now. And essentially what happened with me is I voted Remain in 2016. For those not from the United Kingdom anyway, we had a referendum on whether to stay in the European Union or not. I voted Remain. We obviously lost, but then, like, quote unquote, my side of the argument were using it as a cudgel to call people racist and bigoted and all these other names. So they were talking about members of my family, some of my friends, and I was just not going to behave like that. I was not going to start calling people names for voting different to me. I mean, at the time, after the vote had got passed, I thought it was a bit foolish. I'm not going to go back into the Brexit stuff. It's over now as far as I'm concerned. But I didn't insult people. I didn't make arguments out of everything. And maybe for 2 days I maybe explained myself to my friends why I thought it was a negative idea. But then that was it. I gave over, moved on, took the loss. And then while my Brexit comrades were busy trying to overturn the result, which I was not in favour of, because I'm in favour of democracy, not like the sort of authoritarian communist ideology that they're trying to install on us. So I turned my back on the sort of left wing at that point, and I still consider myself centre left, but I do not hang around in left wing circles anymore. And some of that is because of the left wing. Because if you join Facebook groups or anywhere else, and you join like a right wing one and a left wing one, if you contradict anything in the left wing one, you are ejected. They do not have dissent in left-wing groups. You've got to abide by the left-wing dogma. And me being only centre-left, that means there's a lot for me to disagree with. And likewise, when I'm in the right-wing groups, there's a lot for me to disagree with in there as well. But the right-wingers, the most they'll do is maybe mock you. Oh, you're an idiot, and you're not thinking it through. I don't know, whatever insults they want to bring. But they don't kick you out of the group. You know what I mean? They don't silence you, but the left wing do. And that is part of my journey, sort of a way. And what's happened now, because of Charlie Kirk, they have essentially done that on a global scale. Because I've seen protests, and demonstrations around the world, South Korea, Australia, Spain, all over the world, with paying homage to Charlie Kirk. So, as I was saying anyway, well, I just had to cut out that train going past. They have undermined their own argument and they have lost. Because en masse now, people have turned their back on them. I've seen many videos of people who were saying, you know, they were sort of on that side of the argument prior to Charlie getting shot. And that's it now. They're not going to celebrate death like the rest of them. So what has essentially occurred is people have seen evil. Around the world, we have seen the face of evil, which is the name of Tyler Robinson, the assassin. He is evil. And anybody that supports him and thinks he did the correct thing, they are evil too. And that is why people, I think, en masse now have seen the light. And then not only that, I suppose in the United Kingdom, we had our Unite the Kingdom protest. And that has been a roaring success. People around the world now want to emulate it. I've seen comments from people in Canada, Australia, the United States, France. They all want to be able to emulate what we've done, which is fantastic, I think. But the only negative I've seen is that people like saying Canada, Australia and the USA are sort of, the countries are a bit large for them to be able to get so many people in one city, I think. Which, maybe I'm wrong. That's the comments I've seen. I'm not going to judge it because I don't live in them countries. But it has been a roaring success. Like, I, personally, after this weekend, feel elated. Like, all throughout the previous part of this year, and like maybe last year as well, maybe a bit of the year before that, I've been extremely sad about what's happening in this country. I look at our flag and I'm sad because I could see it disappearing. It's been undermined by all these other sort of ideologies and movements and religions. It was sad. Because the British people seem to just have took it lying down. But for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe it's like Lucy Connolly getting locked up, maybe the Southport murders. Maybe all this is just, it's finally woken people up. So I feel, you know, even though I've tried my best when I've been online to educate people and make people wake up, but there's seems like everybody was always black-pilled. It was, can't do anything, government, blah, blah, blah. But for whatever reason, everybody's woken up now, and there is a ray of sunshine shining into the United Kingdom. This weekend, after that, after the march, lots of people were reporting double rainbows, and I got sent a double rainbow by my brother as well. And I mean, maybe this is wrong, maybe it's right. A lot of people were saying that it is a sign from God. And I actually do believe that. I think that God has looked down upon the United Kingdom and is giving us the strength to move forward. Because this is a Christian country, and God will obviously want it to stay Christian. He will not want it to become another religion. It's been Christian for, well, it's a bit weird, I suppose. I mean, since the Romans invaded, then it became pagan again for a little while after they left and the Angles, etc., invaded, but then it became Christian again. So I don't know, you know, roughly 1,000 years, give or take, obviously, because it was Christian for a while, then not, and then changed again. And like maybe 800 years. I maybe have to figure it out when I go home. I've never actually figured out the exact number of how many years. But we will stay a Christian country now, and we always will. The other side cannot win. There's far too many of us on this side. There are, I don't know, I would say, out of every 10 people in the United Kingdom, 6 or 7 of us are in this side of the argument. We have had enough and we will prevail. So if you're British and you're seeing this, give the video a thumbs up and let me know how happy you are, if you feel the same, that we will win and that we will be able to reclaim our country. Because it's not in our charge, is it? We've got this quisling government that are doing things against our own interests and are damaging the country. But everybody is aware now. I mean, if you've seen the reports online by the mainstream media, all of them, every single one, are downplaying how many was there. I mean, the estimates I've seen from AI, like analysing the videos and all the stats you can find online, is 1,300,000 people there. And the media are saying 100,000, which is obviously a fraction of how many was really there. And they're all aligned. They are all the Mirror, the Sun, the Guardian, the Metro, ITV News, all of them. I have not seen one that hasn't smeared it as being far right and 100,000. I've seen one saying 10,000 people there. 10,000. Like, what? 10,000? Sorry, but the yeah, like if you're watching this and you still believe those reports by all the mainstream media, I don't know what to tell you. You're just an ideologue, or you're absolutely retard. I'll not finish the sentence, but I'm sure you can guess what I'm trying to say. You are a fucking moron. So yeah, I feel good, and been to church today. The church was really nice, as I said at the beginning of the video. Got some sandwiches and a cup of tea. I even got a book. In fact, I've got it on me. I have got the book. I was given this. My old photographs from the village that's near to me, to the church I went to. I'm not sure if you can see this stuff. Like really old photographs of the heritage of the area. I mean, if you want to know more about this, let me know in the comments maybe, and I'll maybe make a video on the Wentworth family and whatnot in the area. But yeah, it's really nice, lovely, glossy book. Just giving me that, and not as if I went for freebies at all. It's a church. I didn't expect to gain anything. I only wanted to go to be able to absorb God, maybe listen to some prayers, listen to some hymns, and become close to God. And it was nice. I was a bit reticent at the first, because I know that in the church community, people can be a bit judgmental. I think if you watch The Simpsons, you've got your Helen Lovejoy types, but I didn't get that vibe there anyway. I mean, maybe things will change in the future, but at the moment, all good. I'm happy I went, and I will go again, and I will continue to go, because I think whether you're religious or not, or whether you even believe in God or not, it's nice to go to church. Like Sargon of Akkad is atheist, and he goes to church because he sees the value of it in culture, and he wants his children to grow up in that sort of environment, having good morals. And obviously, the Bible teaches good morals. It's hard to argue otherwise. And I suppose some people probably put in the comments now about some of the violent stuff in the Bible, but as far as I'm aware, that's in the Old Testament, so it's not really the sort of Christian part as such. That's obviously the Hebrew part. But I'm not pouring shade on the Hebrew either. I'm not I'm not trying to shame the Hebrew part either. I've got a Hebrew name, and Christianity comes from Hebrew. And although I'm not going to go and talk too much about Judaism, because I'm getting absolutely sick to the back teeth of people constantly talking about Jews and Israel on other videos, completely, just absolutely grinds my gears. And there's two subjects I'm going to make sure I never talk about as much as I can. I'm going to try and stay away from them as much as possible. That's the Israel-Palestine situation and abortion. I'm going to try and stay away from them topics because I do not give a fuck. And I'm sorry if any religious people out there listening to this now and they want me to speak out about abortion, but I'd rather not. I think there's other battles I can fight. There's other battles I'll be better off being able to get involved in. Abortion is not one of them. And if you watch my other videos, you know that I have a strong opinion. Well, not a strong opinion, but I have my own story involving abortion. So it's not as if I'm a fan of it. Abortion led me becoming suicidal for about 3 years. However, I'd rather just not get involved, and especially with the Israel-Palestine thing. That's completely toxic. And if anything, right, you people should respect that I don't want to talk about it because I'm not grifting. Because if I talked about the Israel-Palestine thing and I made videos on that, my channel would grow exponentially. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not talking about that conflict as much as I can. I'll try and stay away from it. Because essentially I don't want Britain to be involved. You know what I mean? We obviously, it was our mandate, Israel, and we couldn't negotiate the peace, and then we left. And then throughout my entire lifetime, we've not had anything really to do with Israel, other than obviously selling weapons, etc. And I would rather just not have any involvement at all, ignore it, and completely just let them resolve it themselves. And if America want to go involved in France, that's their thing. And I'm already talking far too much about this subject, to be honest. I'm just trying to explain to you why I don't want to talk about it. Because I'll move on. But yeah, it's been good. It's been a bad week though. The Irina getting stabbed to death. I think it was Monday last week, so just over a week ago we had that video. That was a hard watch. And then 2 days later or so, Charlie's shot. So that day on Twitter, that was a rough day. That was a rough day because there were still videos of Irina getting killed doing the rounds, and then there was the ones of Charlie Kirk getting shot. So it's just Twitter was just full of death that day. It was a rough day, and I've seen both them videos maybe 100 times each now. You know, from being on Twitter, getting involved in debates with people, and yeah, I don't think I ever need to watch them ever again. Like they're so emblazoned in my memory. And you must watch them, I think. No, unless you're really, really easily upset. I think to realise what it's like in society, to realise what the consequences are for us not making the right decisions and pushing back on this far left extremism, we must watch these videos. But if I respect you if you don't want to watch it, because they are rough, especially Charlie Kirk one. I mean the Irina one's rough, but you don't see that much blood in that video. But obviously the Charlie Kirk one, you see lots of blood, to be honest, and it is a rough watch. But I do recommend it if you are interested in politics and you do care about your countries, just to see exactly what the repercussions are for letting things slide as they are. But we will win. We will win. The United States will resolve its problems. The United Kingdom is going to resolve its problems. And I don't know about like Canada, Australia and stuff at the minute. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know enough. I'm not going to pass judgment. I hope you do though. Yeah, I hope you do. Because I know a lot of you aren't very happy. I was going to make another video actually, saying that if you Australians and Canadians and New Zealanders are so worried to lose your countries, you're always welcome to come back here. You are obviously descendants of the British Empire, you know, like true British citizens as well. Maybe saying British Empire was a wrong analogy, but you are obviously descended from us. So if you ever wanted to come back here home and help defend us, you are more than welcome in my eyes. But I understand if you want to protect your own countries. If you're proud Aussies, proud Canadians, that's good. You can resolve your problems. I feel confident you can. I mean, I haven't seen any information to really give me that same feeling of euphoria that you'll succeed like I have with us and the United States. But you know, early days. You know, it's still less than a week with the old Charlie Kirk thing at the minute, but that has had a huge global impact. Somebody was saying it's probably the most important political event of the last 10 years. And I honestly think it is, because there's not been really any political assassinations in the United States within my lifetime, or if they have been, they've been very low figures maybe, and that's why they haven't been reported that much. But the Charlie Kirk one went global. And what's happened is, the reason for this is because Charlie was essentially a nice guy. He didn't insult people. Maybe he was a bit smarmy and quippy, but he wasn't calling people names. You know, if this had been, I'm not going to name names, but I'm sure you can think of people, you know, prominent names that are like right-leaning. If it had been one of them, it might not have been the same outcome, because people had been able to find a lot more clips, but the left are having to like fake clips of Charlie, or like snip parts off what he said. So they're frantically trying to do that. And all they're doing is they're just gaslighting more people into thinking, why the line? Maybe gaslighting wasn't the right word. I haven't made a video for like 3 weeks, so you know, I have to get back into the swing of things. But yeah, things are good. Things are good overall. I feel close to God. Feel like we will win. And not only that, we will win, but we're not going to be like how the left wing think we are, where we want to kick everybody out of the country. We all know that not all the immigrants are the same. You know, it sounds bad, but I mean, how many British people have problems with the Polish? Like, are there any? You know, I mean, the Polish are good immigrants. You know, I mean, this will sound like some people are going to say this sounds bigoted, but there is a hierarchy here, and the Polish are some of the best, and you know, I would say the Romanians are some of the best. You know, and Slovakians. You know, essentially anybody from Europe is good immigration for the most part. Not all, few knobheads, few dossers, but it's just some of the other places. And so I don't get people being mean to me. I'll not name countries, but I'm sure if you go online and look at crime by race in the United Kingdom, you'll find out which ones are the ones that we want to start deterring from coming here. So it's not anti-immigration, it's anti-illegal immigration, and it's anti, accepting people from countries that don't like us, like the Polish do like us. We've always had a good relationship with the Polish, even when we kind of betrayed them in the Second World War. Obviously, if you don't know, Russia and Hitler both invaded Poland more or less at the same time from each direction, and we didn't enter the war straight away, even though we were honor bound, like a treaty bound, that we would always come to Poland's aid, and we dragged our heels, and it wasn't until the Nazis went through Belgium that we actually entered the war. And then after the Second World War, unfortunately, due to the political landscape at the time, some Polish, even though they'd helped defend the United Kingdom, had to be sent back. So even with those very unfortunate political decisions that were made, the Polish still have a very good relationship with us, and we have a good relationship with them. Sort of like we do with the Portuguese as well. We have a very good relationship with them. We have, in fact, the allyship between Portugal and the United Kingdom is the longest standing allyship, or yeah, I'll just go with that word, or longest standing allyship in the world. So, you know, we do have friends. There are good immigrants. If you're watching this and you want to kick everybody out of the country, I suggest you have a long, hard think about that, because not everybody's the problem. I mean, I was talking with a Romanian guy today online, and he said he was concerned that things might spill over and he might be targeted. He was talking to me, you know, he works 2 jobs, he's got a PhD, he's got a family, he's married, he speaks the language, he integrates. He said all this was common sense to him, and I agree, it is common sense, and this is why the Europeans are the good sort of immigration. I don't think anybody really from Europe need to worry about, like, they get it, because they want the same in their countries as well, which I suppose some of these from the less good countries also want integration, but they looked at it as though their culture is superior, so you should be converting to them, and they're not going to convert to you. Whereas I don't think we do that in Europe. You know, we see it as this other culture I'm going to has certain benefits which I'm wanting, so I will integrate. If you know what I mean? Whereas I think certain other religions and certain other races, very arrogant, very proud, do not want to do that. And yes, British people and Americans can be knobheads and not integrate. You know, I've seen reports of that, of expats in other countries not doing it. Nobody's perfect, but I think a lot of time with expats, at least they're retired. At least they're just, yeah. So as I was saying, at least they're retired. They're not, you know, they're not trying to take jobs off people. They're putting money into the economy. Maybe they should integrate a bit more. At least try and learn the language of the country that they're in. Like, you know, for instance, in the Philippines, at least try and like learn some phrases, which some of them don't do. And just on the language thing, actually, just to go back to the religion thing, I've actually started learning some Latin as well now. I mean, I probably shouldn't. I should probably try and stick doing Cebuano, but I have elected to start learning some Latin. I got one from V for Vendetta as well. I forgot what it is now. Veni Veri Sect, Veri Vici. Forgot. But it's a good quote. You know, plenty others, but I'm not going to try and recall it now while I'm on camera. I should probably end this video soon. I've been rambling for a while, but yes, I feel good. I feel good for going to church. I feel good for what's happening in the United Kingdom. Times are good. After so much heartache, so much betrayal, things might actually start looking up. I mean, we're not out of the woods yet. Still got this stupid government in the way, and yeah, hopefully we can get them to call a snap election or something before 2029, because the sooner we get them out of office and hopefully elect somebody more responsible, the better, because things will start getting hairy. And I don't want a civil war. I've said this in other videos. I don't want a civil war, but if the government don't start responding or call a snap election and get the fuck out of the way, bad things will happen in this country. And that's not a threat. That is a prediction. I predict that things will get bad. And to be honest, in the United States, I predict things to get really bad after that Charlie Kirk assassination. I did anticipate some people getting it in return, but it hasn't happened. So well done Americans, for like not reacting and making it all a lot worse, you know. But equally, if you guys do end up doing that, I'm not going to pass judgment. I understand it. I understand it from our perspective. It's a crazy time we're living in. It's an exciting time as well in some way, because to be honest, in the wake of since the Irina stabbing and Charlie then getting shot, it's so hard to keep up with the news, man. There's so much going off. And then obviously in the United Kingdom we had Ricky Hatton pass away today, just before I made this video. Robert Redford. Yeah, Robert Redford has just passed away. It's just like non-stop, man. And then there's all the stuff dealing with the Charlie thing, and that's been investigated. And Kesh Patel is his name. He's just been speaking to the Senate before I come out. So it's full speed ahead. It's hard. This is why I've kind of not made a video in a while. I mean, I was working on some fan fiction because I started it years ago, and then I kind of had the taste for it, so I finished that. Well, finished my first draft, got the idea out of my head, so it's not like whirring around in there anymore. And then as I'm starting to get back to making videos, Charlie gets shot, and then I'm like glued to the TV, you know. And I took it really bad, to be honest. Like, before I went to church, man, my emotions were all over the place. Because I don't know if you know that when he was shot, his wife and child were there. And I'm going to try and say this without crying, right? But when he was shot, when the gunshot went off, his daughter was scared. And his daughter went to go run to her daddy, which she couldn't do. And I managed to get through that without getting upset. Maybe it's the church thing, because prior to going to church, every time I thought or even typed that out to somebody, I was busting into tears, and then I would become seething with anger. I had nothing but hate in my heart at them times. And wrath. It's the only sin that I feel, wrath. I don't experience greed, you know, I don't experience envy and all this other stuff. But wrath I do experience. I do experience wrath. And yeah, I've been some bad thoughts going through my head. That's why I've not made a video, because I thought I'm going to say something online, and it's going to end up with the police at my door with how I feel. But I'm good now, or better at least anyway. I mean, I wouldn't say it's completely gone away, but I can feel the Lord's love. I can tell he loves me. I'm going to go watch, oh man, why is it? Tay, that's it, Tay. If you watch Charlie Beach, one of his sort of like bodyguards, Tay, I'm going to go watch his stream. I watched it last night. You know, people had to troll that stream for some reason. Everybody has to troll a stream for some reason. But Tay's stream was good. I forgot what it's called. I've completely forgot what it's called. It's annoying me. In fact, I'll put Tay's channel in the description. So if you go in the description, I'll put Tay's channel there. And I'm not sure if he's doing it every night, but when he streamed last night, he said he was going to stream again tonight. So I'll tune in again tonight, and well, you know, while I won't pray along with him, and I'll at least listen to it. You know, I think it's good to listen to prayers, I suppose. They seem to have a good effect. Yeah, I suppose I'll leave this here. Probably things I've still forgot. There's been so much happened. But, you know, it's a roller coaster journey. And I do think God tests us. He gives us these battles for us to overcome. And Charlie's death will not be in vain, man. It's probably going to be one of the biggest seismic shifts of the last 10 years, man. It's been absolutely insane. This is like the equivalent of like, this is bigger than the first time Trump got elected, in my opinion. So that was a big seismic shift in society, the first Trump term. But this is just like next level, I think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is like, I don't want to say it's bigger than 9/11. 9/11 was obviously a big thing, but maybe it's the biggest since that. You know. And if you feel different, let me know in the comments. You know, obviously try not to insult me just because I said that. But if you think there's been another event bigger, let me know. But as far as I'm concerned, maybe since 9/11, this is the biggest thing that's happened, man. This has had a bit, like, it has red-pilled the entire world. All of a sudden, everybody's just had enough and being like, what? The communists celebrate death. They celebrate shooting somebody in the neck in front of their fucking wife. Are you joking me? Demons. Evil lives amongst us. Yeah. So evil lives amongst us. Sorry, another train went past. I'm going to end this video soon now. Evil lives amongst us. So yeah, I'll leave the link for Tay's channel in the description. Check it out. He's a good guy. I suppose, you know, I think he's like me. He wasn't always religious. He found God. He went through his own journey. I'll let him explain it. I'll not give away all his information. I'll let him tell his own story. But he's a good guy. Well, he seems like a good guy from what I can tell anyway. I've never met the man. I would meet him though, I suppose, if I could. And yeah, Christians unite and the kingdom unite. See you in the next one.